And we're live.
Yay, I'm so excited. Oh, it's been a
Woo!
while, my friend.
It's been a while. So this is the DMac and Rachel reunion, and Rachel was over at Dove Valley and the Broncos, and we'll get to that eventually. But
For sure.
I honest to God, I never thought we would be doing this again. I really
Me
did.
either. And it's crazy to think how long it's been and how many shows we did prior to this already. And yet chemistry, it's still there. It's crazy, DMac.
How long? And see, we get comments right off the bat, right? Look at this. Hey, DMac, Rachel just finished watching 5 p.m. KUWT Truth. Damn, DMac. No more accents for you. I'll tell you that story later.
No more accents. That's exactly what I need.
I'll tell you that later. I'm selfish, but I want to keep seeing your podcast. Well, listen, me and Rachel, first of all, Rachel's such a talented person that I got to. How long did we do coffee break? Basically every day for a couple of years, right?
Yeah, probably 2
years,
2.5, maybe.
Yeah.
How long have you been gone?
A year and kind of a year and a month. So then like 13 months.
Probably almost 2.5 years.
But don't forget, they unceremoniously just took me off coffee break for no reason. Yeah. Just like, yeah, you're not going to be on anymore. So me and Rachel were on for a couple years. I remember I was on my bike. I was near the Broncos facility and, hey, can you call me one of these? Like the amount of like, can you come in at 10? Can you give me a call? Can you this, that? You know what I'm saying? Like, no, like, what is it? What's it about? Like, hey, in 14 hours, we're going to have a secret meeting about something I can't tell you anything about ahead of time. Do you know how many times I've had that happen to me in the past year working at 92.5 and doing this? Can you guess how many times?
Zero.
Wow.
Honestly, DMac, when you retire from all of it, you need to write a book on all of the crazy stories you've had, because you've been a part of a lot of change here in Denver media.
That's
like
true.
I would read it. I would buy it. I'd be your first person. I'd be coming up to your door to be like, hey, I need an autograph on this book.
Yeah, people ask me like, oh, could you see you're getting fired coming to me? And I'm like, yeah, it's pretty obvious when they took me and Rachel off a show that we had worked together, had built an audience, love each other, had covered the Stanley Cup together, had covered the NBA Finals together. I mean, we were partners in crime, man. We were a team.
We were. And I'll tell you this. People who say, oh my God, you and DMac were so much fun. DMac and the popcorn with you. And I was like, I know.
Yeah, all that. And let me tell you, when things are so bad with Wolf, because they were bad, really bad, the one thing I like doing, is just suffering through the radio show with him was painful.
Yeah.
Was working with you. And they took that away for no reason. But you know what it is now. They took it away because they were getting ready. They were lining up their excuses to do what they did. And that's my story, but people might not know what's going on with you. So I'm going to lay back a little bit, and why don't you catch us up? Why don't you catch us up with whatever you're comfortable talking about?
Yeah, so I mean, I feel like a lot of people know that I got let go from the Fan last week. They had to make some budget cuts all across the company, essentially. So it wasn't just me, but so they made some budget cuts. I was one of those people, but I'm really excited for my next chapter. I'm excited to challenge myself a little bit and continue to grow and be able to sit down and talk with you on a Wednesday night and sit down and hear all the comments. So I'm really excited, but yeah, essentially I'm no longer a part of the Fan. I'm still covering Broncos, Avs, and Nuggets like I normally do, which is really nice, but just not with Denver Sports or 104.3 The Fan anymore.
See, Rachel is so much classier than me, where I'm just bitter and angry. And
I will say, like, I loved my team over there at Denver Sports, so I know firsthand that if, no offense, DMac, but like the trash that they get, it tends to be the digital team that gets a lot of the backlash. And just, I love those guys over there. I was so lucky to be able to work with them and be able to get my start. So that's why. I
love the digital team too. Like I didn't have to do any of that stuff I was doing. I loved it though. I loved writing. I loved the meetings. I loved our weekly meetings.
I know.
I'm a weirdo like that. And working with you, of course, was,
we had so much fun.
It was just awesome.
What was our most memorable show?
Well, the cat show was probably pretty, just in terms of shows. But like Rachel, you know what? The shows were always great. Like I love the shows. But what we did together covering the Stanley Cup and the NBA Finals to me was like how do we ever replace? I mean, we were, two peas in a pod.
I still have all of those videos. They're actually on my YouTube page. I will go, and if you follow me on Twitter, I will do like a thread of all of those videos tonight because they were so much fun.
Yeah.
We were a hoot and a half.
It was so much fun. And
I want to see the comments.
Oh, can you see the comment? You can put the comments up.
I can see. Missed you, Rachel. Hi.
Yeah, put them up.
OG Coffee Break Crew. That is it, man.
Yeah.
Wow, didn't think we'd see this great duo again.
Yeah.
DMac is working on making his own station. LOL. Good evening, DMac and Rach. It's nice to see you again. Oh my gosh, you guys, I appreciate it. Thank you for all of the love on a Wednesday night. Didn't DMac try mayo in his coffee? Do you remember that?
Yeah, because it was that quarterback. It was with Tennessee. What's his name? Oh my gosh, what the hell?
Starts with an L.
Oh my Lord, that guy. Tennessee football. Well, he's with Tennessee now. Gosh, he's doing a mayo commercial. How come we can't? Anyways, we did that. That wasn't that bad actually. That wasn't that bad.
That's absolutely disgusting.
What do you remember the most? If we're just going down memory lane here a little bit.
I remember telling you I got engaged. It was one of the most honest raw reactions ever, which was so fun for me. That's like a personal one. The cats, you're right. That was crazy. But you're right. My main memories of our shows together, well, not even our shows, our time together was the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
Because we were we did pretty much everything together. DMac would buy me popcorn and just show up because I used to eat so much popcorn. So I remember all of those moments. I was so bummed I wasn't there when they won in Tampa. I was so heartbroken.
I was bummed that you couldn't come with me for that too. That would have been a blast. But we got the Nuggets together. That was cool. That happened in Denver.
Yeah. And, Will Levis. Everyone's saying Will Levis.
Will Levis.
The L correct.
Will Levis.
Yeah.
That's it. So now what's next for you, Rach? How are you dealing with, for me, even though I saw it coming, and for me, there's still a degree of grief and loss and disappointment because, man, the one thing that managers will never understand, there's no way they could understand, is the amount of heart and soul that goes into being a broadcaster and doing what we do. Yeah. Nobody, and it's easy to be, oh, the media is this and that, the other thing. But you can't go half speed and try to do this type of work. It's all or nothing, frankly. And it's a lot of emotional sort of stuff that you carry with you. So I love where I am now, and I love doing Kill You with Truth. Mm-hmm. How are you dealing with it? Because you're just in the beginning stages of this stuff. So how are you feeling?
I'm good. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I was really ready for a new challenge. So while it did come as kind of a surprise, I'm very excited for the future. But you say you can't really half-ass it, and that's the truth. I was down there at Broncos today, and I'm not gonna lie, I almost had this imposter syndrome of am I supposed to be here? But I've covered these teams for so long, and I'm I do deserve to be here. I'm seeing all your guys' comments are making me just so happy because people know me for the coverage that I've brought, and hopefully some laughs and some excitement to your TV or your phone or whatever you're watching on. So it really helps to see all of those comments. But right now I'm just covering the teams just kind of normally. I've got, a station down south here in Colorado that's helping me out with everything, who's amazing. We love a guy named Bob Richards. We're huge fans. But so yeah, that's kind of just what I'm doing right now. I'm very lucky essentially that I've got some time to figure out what I want to do. But yeah, it's just a waiting game. And of course, with the holidays coming up, let's all be real. Nobody actually works pretty much from Thanksgiving until the New Year. So we're just all kind of chilling, and we're going to talk and hang out, and hopefully the Broncos make the playoffs.
All right, let me give just one last thing, and then we can talk about today because you were out at the Broncos, and it's awesome. I went through the same thing, Rach. What do people think of me? It's funny. I know there's a lot of look at me stuff with what we do, obviously, but you really don't want to walk. Do you really want to explain it for the 100th time? what's going on. And then there's kind of the weird, like, oh, how are you here? Why are you here? That's sort of like, you can feel it. Everybody's really polite and nice and, understanding, but there's always this weird underneath side eye of like, oh,
Yes.
why you're really here? Why are you here? That sort of thing.
That's what I've been walking into. And like, there's
Yeah.
so many good people in the Denver sports media, but you can see some of them are like, well, wait a second. Like, I saw your post, and then others just come up and they're like, how are you? Like, are you doing okay? And
Yeah.
I've been lucky enough to say, like, yes, I'm doing really good right now. Like, happy to still be here and obviously covering these sports. But yeah, it's definitely a transitional period. But like I said, I'm just so excited for my future that I feel like it's also helping the situation.
As you should be. Like, Rachel's always one of the people, as I'm talking to you, Rachel, and everybody out there, that you are one of the people that it's like, I knew you win. I have no doubts about that.
Oh,
with you.
You're so sweet.
There's zero. I'm a guy that's like, he's still here. That's what I am at this point.
Oh my gosh, stop. You're legendary. Okay, let's not even.
Legend. All legends. We're just
legendary.
We're just dust, as Mike Tyson would say. It's nothing. And there's no legacy. We're all dust. We're just dust. It's nothing.
Oh my gosh.
But Rachel, I promise you, will be one of those people that everybody will be like, oh, I remember when, that sort of thing. And in all honesty, if I look at the trajectory of, I don't know, so many other successful people, my guy Joe KUWT or Alana Rizzo or Lauren Gardner or, I don't know, we've had, there's a lot of examples of people that go from Denver to bigger things. And I have no doubt that Rachel will be one of them.
Oh, I appreciate the love.
Take you while you're here. That's for sure.
Oh,
So what was the Broncos like today? Then we'll get to the Broncos. What was the Broncos like today?
Well, first of all, are they just riding high? Like, and I feel like Broncos country is riding high too. It's such an exciting time because the playoffs are there. Like, everyone's like, oh my God, for the first time in how long the Broncos team can actually make the playoffs if they just continue to win. And I feel like that was just the overall mentality, but they're not getting too high or too low on themselves. And that was one of the interesting, topics around it, essentially. So Adam Troutman actually even talked about it. Like, is it hard to stay focused on the game ahead and not get too carried away with what the future could look like? And he was just like brutally honest. Take a listen. It's actually a really good clip on this.
Okay.
Yeah, it is. And anyone that would say otherwise, I think, is lying. So yeah, it's hard not to like look at that, but we have done a good job of reiterating every week. It's just about the game that we're about to play on Sunday or Monday or Thursday, maybe Saturday in December, whenever that is. So yeah, you can't look too far ahead. That's when you start to drop games.
Raise your hand if you have heard a player say, no, we're only looking at the game in front of us. We're not looking at the playoffs. I can, because, oh my gosh, do they say it all the time, right? That media training comes in and we're like, seriously, can you just give me a raw answer? I feel like Adam Troutman did that right there of like, yeah, it is actually hard, but we do have to stay focused on the game. And I feel like Sean Payton has implemented that from this team essentially because they are focused on each game. And that's why they're winning the games against the Panthers, against the Falcons. And it's really actually nice to see that they're not losing some game that they should have easily won. And hopefully that stays true for this weekend against the Raiders.
Well, I call it expected, and the whole like must win thing. I'm over that. I don't like using it. So I'd rather call them expected or unexpected wins. Okay.
Okay.
So follow me on this. You need to win almost all of your expected wins. Maybe you can drop one, but win your expected wins. And then, Rach, in my opinion, you've got to win a couple of unexpected wins to be a playoff team or something special. So if you can do that, or you're so good, the vast majority of your games are expected wins. And, again, same thing. You just, win those and you're probably okay. So let me ask you, is the Raiders game this week an expected win or an unexpected win?
Expected win, but it's a rivalry game.
Yeah, no doubt.
People want to say about it, that's the truth. Despite the Raiders record and all of the drama they're going through, it still means something to this fan base, to the team, to the players. So it's a rivalry game. So I never say like, oh, it's an easy win. Anytime it's something that's in the AFC West, it's never an easy win. And no NFL game really is ever just like a hand me because you always see upsets. but it is an expected win for just the struggles that Vegas has been going through the season. And, they're just trying to figure out their identity. I feel like we talk about that with the Broncos all the time. It's like, what's the identity of the Denver Broncos? I feel like that's what the Raiders are doing constantly. And they're putting so much into Brock Bowers too. And we can get into him in just a second. But I feel like it's an expected win for the Broncos, especially with how they played against the Falcons. But it can't be we're riding this too high of wave now, and all of a sudden we're going to have a disappointing game because we're not as good as we made it seem like we were against the Falcons.
All right, so what would the game – I'm just going order here, right? What would the game against the Browns be?
I would say an expected win.
Okay, bye week. Game against the Colts is a –
expected win.
Uh-huh. How many wins would that give the Broncos, Rach?
Well, what are we at? 5?
Oh, that's 6 and 5. So if you got those 3 expected wins, that'd be 9.
Yeah.
How many wins?
But that's when things get questionable because you got the Chargers, you got the Bengals, you have the Chiefs. Like, which one are they? What's the unexpected win that they got there?
And that's the great mystery. But that's
my question, though. My question to you is Bo Nix a better quarterback than Joe Burrow?
No.
Why?
Experience. I got to give it to Joe. Joe's numbers have been unbelievable.
But if Bo Nix had played as many years as Joe Burrow has, would he be a better quarterback?
Different question. So will Bo Nix be as good, if not better, down the line as Joe Burrow? Oh, man, I want to say yes to that so bad. But, look what Burrow's already done. So
like that roller coaster they're on, man. I would be like sick, motion sickness on that.
How about this? It's a great question. I think Bo Nix can give the Broncos a chance to win at an equal level as Joe Burrow. How about that? So whether he's better or not, I don't know. But what Joe Burrow's done for the Bengals, I believe Bo Nix can do for the Broncos.
Well, and let's be real. Okay, we can talk quarterbacks. We can talk all of that. The Broncos defense is absolutely insane and the reason that they've been able to stay in the games. So if the Broncos defense can go after Joe Burrow, then I'm taking Bo Nix in that.
Where are you on? Are you a Bo Nix fan? Are you down with Bo Nix?
I'm a believer. Okay, I said this 3 weeks ago. I said we have our franchise quarterback. Now, with that being said, he's still a rookie QB. We are going to have a roller coaster with him. Okay. He's not going to go out there and look like Patrick Mahomes playing in the Super Bowl in the next year. Okay. We're going to have to slowly take this in, but they have their guy. Finally, the rotation I think is done. It's over with. We can all praise that and say, okay, Sean Payton found his guy. The fit is correct. We have a quarterback.
Do you think he's the guy for the next 10 years? That sort of conversation.
I think if he can stay healthy.
Yeah, knock on wood. You're right.
I never like to say, 10 years in the NFL is a long freaking time, right? Like you would have thought the Colts would have said the same thing with Peyton Manning. Like he's going to end his entire career here and he's going to love us from the day he dies. Things change all the time. Obviously, Peyton dealt with injuries and such and then came here. And luckily he chooses the Broncos over the Colts because of that drama. But I think for at least the next 5 to 6 years for sure, he's the quarterback of the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, well, and it always gets interesting because you got the guy for 5 years if you want him because of the first round exemption, the option there. But most teams after 3 years say, okay, they don't have to, but that's what most guys with first round quarterbacks do after 3 years. The fourth year, what they do is they kind of tag on years, so it's as cheap as it can. But that's when you get your next, and you're right. It just because you get that extra time after your 5th year does not mean you're going to be there for another 5 years. But it guarantees you basically 6 years. It does, and very unlikely would you get that contract after you get drafted and not be the starter for 6 years. What I'm speculating is that it goes kind of even beyond that. So I probably shouldn't get so ahead of myself. I'm just excited that I don't think we have anything to worry about in this department, right? Like, I think we're good, Rach. I don't know if that's how you feel too. Like, you can start building now the rest of the team, whatever that might be.
Yeah, and I think that's what you're starting to figure out is who can mesh with Bo. Devon Vele, I think he's a guy that's going to be on this team for a really long time. Cortland Sutton, I don't know what the future is going to hold with Cortland Sutton, to be frankly honest. Are they just going to look younger and look to build it? Are they saying, hey, we're a playoff team, keep a veteran guy on this team, and then see what happens? Running back, that's a whole other conversation. I'm exhausted with the running back situation, frankly, because I want Javonte to be the guy. I don't think it is Javonte. And then he has a game like he had on Sunday where I'm like, oh, the old Javonte is kind of back. But I do think they will move on from him in the offseason. Audric Estime is looking really good. Jaleel McLaughlin's also looking good. So it's now just finding the right pieces to make Bo even better. And luckily, you're seeing a lot of connection and chemistry with some of these guys. So I'm happy about it. I'm excited where the Broncos sit right now because, to be honest, I expected them to be a lot worse. So I'll take what we're getting.
We have my guy, Oren Lamena, on my channels, on my digital channels, coming up at 7 o'clock. So just a few more minutes with Rach, but we definitely need to make this on the regular.
How are you guys feeling? Do we like that?
Of course. Look at the comments. It's freaking ridiculous.
I love it.
It's fucking ridiculous. You want to curse? You want to just let one out just for...
man. I love it. Thank you, everybody, for the love. I love how everybody's so into the Shadur stuff. Like, what if Shadur goes to the Raiders? Could you imagine if that actually happened?
Yes, I can.
Would Shadur or Prime say, I'll go to the Raiders? Because they're going to say wherever they want to go, and that's where they're going to go.
I think, first of all, I don't think either one of them has to do anything. I think you're going to have, look at how shitty some of the teams are, Rach. Like, I think you're going to have a battle to the bottom, and the Raiders are going to be one of those teams because almost every single team that you see that sucks, and look at how many teams suck right now, Rach. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
Almost every single one of those teams is going to need a new coach and a new quarterback. Almost every single one. Might be different in Jacksonville. They'll need a new coach, but they may commit to Trevor Lawrence, right? But like the Giants, they're playing Tommy DeVito, who was hanging out with Paulie Walnuts on The Sopranos set as their starting quarterback, passing over Drew Lock. That's going to be a coach and a QB. Raiders, I think, will be a coach and a QB. I think they like Bryce Young in Carolina, so they may be okay there. But then, what are the Jets going to do? What are a lot of these bottom feeders? What are the Cowboys going to do, Rachel?
First of all, I think that's where he's going to end up. I think he's going to end up with the Cowboys. Real quick, though, can we all just thank the football gods that Aaron Rodgers didn't come to Denver?
Oh, my God. He's such a turd.
The Jets are a disaster. I'm like, holy smokes. And everybody's sitting. Did you see the article that came out today?
Yeah.
That they had like that ownership meeting or whatever. And, Robert Saleh actually really wanted to keep Aaron Rodgers and he wanted to bench Aaron Rodgers. I'm like, this is a drama just unfolding. Hallelujah, the Broncos didn't get him. Okay, listen, I know we've had quarterback rotations and everyone was heartbroken with the Russ situation, but like, that's just a whole other level of drama.
Well, the thing that we should be most grateful, at least for the Broncos, Avs, and Nuggets, is that we have a great ownership group committed to winning. Hey, I wish the best for the Rockies, and I'm not here to crap all over Monfort or anything, but like,
I will. I'm sorry. I think you should probably get rid of people if you're having continuous losing seasons, but that's my own personal opinion.
All right, what else in the locker room? We only got a couple minutes here. What else was cool in the locker room today?
A lot of people obviously were getting asked, like, who are they paying attention to a lot? Now it's no surprise. Another person that's in the conversation for Rookie of the Year, tight end Brock Bowers. A lot of people, were hoping that the Broncos were going to get him when it came to the draft. Thank goodness that they did go for a quarterback. But essentially, there was a lot of talk about Brock Bowers, and especially from PJ Locke. Take a listen.
Great player. I think they're trying to feature him a lot more. Is their number one. I seen he had I don't know how many catches he had or targets. I don't know if it was 16 catches, 16 targets or whatever. So, yeah, I mean, they're definitely trying to feature him, first-round pick, and they're trying to get that offense going. And I think they did fairly well against the Miami Dolphins. I think they just kind of got behind and they had to change the offense up a little bit. But, yeah, I mean, they got it together. It's not like it's just a cakewalk at all. So,
where's your Rookie of the Year rankings right now?
Probably Jaden Daniels one. And it's so funny. I saw James Palmer, who we love, who also got fired this year. And he put Brock Bowers as his favorite. And the only listen, I understand Brock is great, but he's the only offensive player they have. Yeah. And he puts up a lot of numbers, Rage, because they're just losing in so many games. So you kind of pile it up. They're 2-8. So to me, the rookies of the year, the two most impactful guys on their teams are Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix. That's it. And I'm not saying there aren't great corners or Joe Alt, the great offensive lineman, or anything like that. But who is having the most impact? It's clearly Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix.
Totally agree with you. The fact that Bo Nix has 19 touchdowns, I know he only has 14 passing, but 19 total touchdowns. I'm like, I think there should be, and it's starting to grow, a little bit more of a conversation about Bo Nix possibly jumping into that number 1 spot. But he has to continue it this week. I know he got not rookie of the week, but he got offensive player of the week, which is a big deal. But he has to make sure that he continues it. Otherwise, that conversation, I think, changes again.
All right. We got to leave it there. But when are we going to do this again?
Wednesday nights, shall we?
I would do this stuff with you as much as possible. I'll take anything I can, but we can definitely book it for next Wednesday night. Ain't no doubt about it. I love all the comments. Be kind to Rachel. You're not a charity case, but like it's always nice to just get a little, at a girl. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate it. The comments were so fantastic today. So give me like a hands up emoji if you're like, yeah, I'll come back next Wednesday night for us, because I would love to know.
All right, I'll end it here. Me and Rachel are just going to gossip amongst each other as we say goodbye to you guys. But we'll wrap this up. Oren Lamena with Good News Travel Fast is coming up next on this digital network. Thank you so much. We love you, Rachel.